So let's talk about Donald Trump. Now, those two words can either make you cringe or they can make you want to punch a liberal in the face. But say what you want about Trump, you're racist. He's still a very successful businessman and perhaps just as fitting as Jay-Z's song. He's not a businessman, he's a businessman. So let's take a look at my 4 reasons for why Donald Trump is so successful. My number 1 is that he uses a very simple vocabulary, which allows him to connect to a larger audience. I want you to listen to this clip.
I'm very highly educated. I know words. I have the best words. But there's no better word than stupid. Right? There is none.
Now, I'm a huge fan of the author Noam Chomsky. Now, Noam Chomsky is incredibly brilliant. If you actually listen to what he has to say, you actually analyze his ideas, he's a very, very smart man. But Noam Chomsky cannot even come close to building the audience and the attention that Donald Trump gets. And one of the main reasons why Noam Chomsky can't become as big as Donald is because his work, his writing, is not simple enough for the masses to understand. Now, I'm not saying that every person is stupid, right? But if you speak in a very simple to understand way, your language is going to be accessible to a much larger audience. And as soon as you become more elevated in your language, then a lot less people are going to be able to understand and even really want to understand what you're even talking about. Smart marketers apply this principle all the time. So if you ask somebody that knows what they're doing when they write sales copy, they'll tell you that they intentionally write their sales copy at a 5th grade level. And that's the recommendation. So people are intentionally dumbing down their language to become more accessible. And it's a very smart strategy. The second thing that Donald Trump does that's exceptionally effective is he's incredibly controversial. So anytime that you're really polarizing and you have people talking about how terrible you are or how awesome you are, you have this huge mass of people that are talking about you. There's actually a pretty famous quote for this, and it's that any publicity is good publicity. And it really wasn't that long ago that not many people thought that Trump had even a chance of running for president. A lot of people thought he wouldn't even come close. And then he dominated the Republican primaries because everybody was talking about Donald Trump a hell of a lot more than they were talking about anybody else. Now, I'm definitely not advising that you say bigoted things in order to get more attention to your brand. However, you should make a conscious effort to say interesting things that people will actually be talking about. The third thing that Donald Trump does amazingly well is leverage. So there are some conspiracy theories out there that Donald Trump doesn't even really want to be president. Now, I'm not sure whether that's true or not. However, it wouldn't even really surprise me because this is a guy that intentionally stays in the spotlight by being polarizing and having this notoriety about him. And then he uses that attention that he gets as leverage to sell his products. So he manages to gather the attention, get the branding, and then he uses that attention and branding to make sales. Very, very clever. I know that this 4th thing is going to be really controversial, but there is no doubt that Donald Trump is in fact a liar. I'll give you one example because I don't want to waste a bunch of time on this video. However, people that have actually gone through and checked out his statements and fact-checked have actually found that 76% of the things that he says are in fact not true or partially not true, okay? One of those things is that he said that white people are most often killed by black people, which is incredibly racist, enraging idea that the majority of white people are killed by people of another race. When you actually take a look at the actual statistics, 82% of white people are killed by other white people. Only 12% of white deaths come from the African American population. Now, outright lies that encourage immoral behavior are by no means a good decision. It's something that you should definitely not do. However, there is an argument to be made that lying or massaging the truth is definitely good when it comes to business. A brilliant marketer by the name of Seth Godin, and he has a lot of amazing books. Make sure that you check him out. He authored the book that was called All Marketers Are Liars. And his point in the book is that companies are telling stories. That means that a clever businessman like Donald Trump first wants to brainstorm, what is the message or what are the ideas that I want to get across? And then you want to find the actual select information that supports your main message. So you don't have to necessarily outright lie, but you do usually have to do something what's known as massaging the truth, supplying the evidence and the messaging and the ideas and the anecdotal examples that support your cause. You should always be aware of what your goals are and then say the right things to accomplish those goals. And that's something, again, that Donald Trump does very well. So before you head off to your Taylor Swift and your cat videos, I have another video over here that I think you'll want to see. It's where I'm talking about why the law of attraction is bullshit. So if you found this video controversial, I think you might find that video controversial as well. I always love to hear what you have to say. So make sure if you like this video, give it a like. If you dislike the video, give it a dislike. I want to learn from your feedback in creating videos in the future, what you guys are looking for. And as always, I hope you watch the video and I will see you in the next one.